2025 was an incredible year for cozy games. If you love relaxing, peaceful games that you can unwind with after a long day, you're in the right place. Today, I'm going to reel off my 10 favourite cozy games released in 2025 on the Nintendo Switch 1 and 2. I have ordered them from 10 to 1 based on personal enjoyment, gameplay loops, and just how much they allowed me to forget about the world and get lost in the journey. But that's enough waffle, so grab a brew, get comfy, and let's dive into my favourite cozy games released this year. There's something strangely grounding about a nice day for fishing. It isn't pretending to be a massive fishing sim, and it isn't chasing realism. It's small, self-contained, and confident in that simplicity. I'm not sure how many of you have played Legend of the River King back on the Game Boy, but I've been looking for something similar to those games for years. And whilst this isn't quite there, it definitely gave me the same emotions. What hooked me, no pun intended, is how it captures and simulates those quiet pockets of time that happen in real life. You know, those moments where you're not really doing much, but the not doing much is the point, if that makes any sense. The gentle routine of casting a line, waiting, adjusting your gear, and appreciating the art, scenery, and soundtrack has this way of slowing down your brain without demanding anything else from you. There is no real failure state, and even if you fail on a cast, you don't lose any progress, your line just simply snaps. It's cozy without decorations, gimmicks, or forced charm, just calm water, small rewards, and a steady, relaxing gameplay loop that respects your time. In at number 9 is a slightly more unique game. When I first tried Is This Seat Taken, I didn't expect it to become a regular wind-down game. It looks unassuming, and dare I say it, a little bland. A grid of chairs, a handful of personalities, and simple rules about who can sit where. But the way everything clicks together is genuinely satisfying, and really charming. I don't know if this is going to make sense, but the feeling I get from completing tasks on this game is like that feeling you get when you finish housework. I didn't think I was enjoying it until I finished. You see the outcome, and you get that satisfaction. Albeit, the game is definitely more fun than housework, but everything snaps into order, and you just get that quiet sense of completion, and I could just sit there, all smug and proud of myself. It's not just on the list because it's cozy, but because it surprised me. I wasn't going to buy it at first, but I decided to give it a go, and I ended up burning through the entire chapter of puzzles in one 6-hour sitting, without even noticing the time passing. There's something just very comforting about its structure. There's no pressure, no timers, and no complicated fail states. It's just you, a weirdly relatable cast of fuzzy characters, and the pleasant little task of making a room feel just right. I've seen a few people mention the puzzles towards the end can get a little hectic, but honestly, I never really felt that. But all I can say is I had a blast playing through this, and I highly recommend it. In at number 8 is Power Wash Simulator 2. At first glance, it might seem like an odd pick. But yes, I consider these cozy games. In fact, the sequel somehow makes the act of cleaning even more relaxing and satisfying than the original. This time around, the layers of grime are thicker, the tools feel better, and the controls more responsive. And the levels, they have more nooks and crannies that reward patient detailing. It's still the same gentle, first-person cleaning meditation, but more polished. My partner roasted me initially for playing this game, but it honestly became a bit of a mental reset before bed and having to prepare for the next day of work. And I think the point at which I realised how much I was enjoying my time with it was when I realised I wasn't aiming for any form of progression or achievements. I was just enjoying the rhythmic cleaning and the calming repetitiveness of the game. I don't know, it just sort of clears your head. It's a bit mad, but it really became my go-to way to unwind, and because of that, it's also a game I can easily come back to every now and then, even if I have done everything. And that's something I truly appreciate and value in a game, which is why it earned the number 8 spot on my list this year. Look, as a nearly 34-year-old man, I was not expecting to be sitting here discussing Hello Kitty, Island Adventure is one of my favourite games of the year. I went into it expecting a cutesy game with shallow content and underwhelming mechanics to be done with after 30 minutes or so, but I wasn't prepared for how warm and genuinely welcoming it feels. It isn't just bright colours and friendly faces. The actual structure of the game is great and really encourages you to relax, explore, decorate, and check in on your little routines without punishing you for stepping away. And it really was a genuine shock. It blends life sim exploration with warm, feel-good energy. Let's get to the elephant in the room though. No, this isn't as good as Animal Crossing. But what is? But what some people may prefer about this game is that there is more direction. When you are done exploring and messing about, there is a clear path to take. Others may not be so keen on this, but for someone as easily distracted as me, it's nice to have those tasks and goals, even when I drift off the beaten path because I saw something shiny or new. It's a game that really reminds you that you don't always need tension and pressure to be rewarding. Sometimes a smiling cat and a sunny island are enough to just sit back and enjoy yourself. And for me, that was for 50 hours. So yeah, I definitely recommend this one. Winter Burrows is a relatively new release, and I've had such a lovely time playing through this little gem. You play as a small mouse returning to a snowy home that's fallen into disrepair, and the gameplay revolves around gentle surviving, crafting, and exploration. You gather resources, cook warm meals, patch up broken rooms, and venture carefully into the freezing forest to help neighbouring animals. While it technically has survival elements, they're softened into calming routines rather than stressful deadlines. Part of the reason I connected with this game so much is because underneath the cosy woodland aesthetic, the game explores a handful of very grounded and very human themes, returning home after a long time away, repairing things that have fallen apart, healing and returning to life after the hard seasons, and making peace with inevitable change, and it really hits home. It's a weirdly nostalgic cozy game with a gentle emotional weight and a genuinely thought-provoking undertone, and it truly is a combination that just works beautifully. Next up is a game that took the Nintendo eShop sales charts by storm. Tiny Bookshop is a cozy shop sim built around a simple loop. Park your little book van somewhere in town, arrange your shelves, chat with locals, and see what stories unfold around. It's a narrative-driven shop sim, but the tone is soft and unhurried. You pick the right books for each area, listen to tiny stories from townsfolk, and slowly learn the rhythms of the seaside town. The gameplay isn't necessarily about maximising profits. It's about maximising customer satisfaction and enjoying the day-to-day flow of your tiny van filled with stories. And therein lies the charm. Listening to the customers and figuring out what to recommend based on your conversations, and in general, just getting to know the locals. You become weirdly entangled in their stories, and that is quite unusual for me. But what isn't unusual is how much I enjoyed sourcing new stock and figuring out what books to take and why. What made me connect with Tiny Bookshop wasn't nostalgia or a literary drive to expand the knowledge of those around me, but the sense of calm structure it gave. On busy days, opening my little bookshop felt strangely grounding and relaxing, and that's the point where I realised the game had quietly eased my mind. It's warm, low pressure, and effortlessly charming, and it really was a massive surprise for me this year. And at number 4 is a game I was looking forward to for what felt like forever. Discounty is a cozy game disguised as a management sim. It takes a light shop management game and turns it into something much gentler and narrative-centric. On paper, you're running a supermarket filled with quirky customers and oddball tasks in a strange little town. In practice, there's no harsh economy, no intense failure states, and no overwhelming multitasking. The charm comes from its little moments, stocking shelves, watching regulars come and go, and slowly shaping the store into something that feels personal. I couldn't figure out what kept me playing this game at first. I wasn't sure if it was the story, or the management, or the characters. But I eventually realised it was just how quickly Discounty turns the everyday mundane tasks into something pleasantly meaningful. This game consumed my life when it came out, The shop is the bulk of the experience, but it is the story and the characters you meet that really shape your playthrough. I honestly had so much fun playing through this, and it really is difficult to articulate what makes it so enjoyable. But what I can say is it just pulls you in, everything clicks, and it effortlessly guides you through a fantastic little story, and it works beautifully. Goodnight Universe is for sure my biggest surprise of the year. It's one of the most imaginative and cozy games I've played in a long time. I wasn't even aware of this game until I was researching for a November release video, and boy am I glad I did. You inhabit Isaac, a 6-month-old baby who despite his infancy is developing mysterious psychic abilities, telekinesis, mind reading and more. You navigate his early life from a first-person perspective, waking up, interacting with his family, messing about with toys, and slowly uncovering a larger truth about his powers and the world around him. But all of this is just a vehicle for incredible journey and narrative which dives into themes of family, identity, time, and acceptance, set against the backdrop of an adult world that finds Isaac both extraordinary and disturbing. The gameplay never really pushes you. It seamlessly blends gentle exploration with light puzzle solving, all wrapped in a dreamy atmosphere and a truly emotional journey. The experience as a whole is calm without feeling empty and whimsical without drifting into overly sweet territory, all while being perfectly paced as to not rush you and allow everything to soak in. I think what I love most about this game is how it understands, respects, and balances the power of silence and inconsequential chatter and family bickering. It uses it perfectly to create a sense of comfort without ever crossing that line into uncomfortable territory. It's cozy in a way that feels introspective rather than cute, and at times it's an incredibly relatable and unique journey narrated from the perspective of a sentient, almost omniscient baby. And this tone and overarching story makes it one of the most memorable cozy releases this year. And I guess there's no real surprise with my top 2, starting off with Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar. This was one of the most highly anticipated games of the year, and it delivered on almost all fronts. A complete remake of a fan favourite that takes one of the series' most beloved entries. It brings back everything charming about the original while smoothing out the rough edges. It's a classic life sim loop, farming, crafting, cooking, befriending villagers, adding in the little twist of running your own weekly market stall. Each week builds toward the Bazaar Day, where you set up your booth, arrange your goods, greet visitors, and see how your work pays off. The rhythm is incredibly satisfying, steady work, gentle routine, and a weekly payoff that feels celebratory rather than stressful. This game was actually the reason I started my channel back in July, and the release lived up to almost all of my expectations. It just perfectly captures the comfort of repetition, making you actually look forward to your tasks rather than resenting having to do them, and I became fully absorbed in all of the small rituals. There is almost no urgency or unwanted fluff, but there is always a clear goal to work towards. Be ready for the bazaar. And it gives purpose to every small task, turning each day into a warm, inviting cycle. It strikes the perfect balance of having enough to do, but never leaves you wishing you had more time, and it really wasn't until about the 90-hour mark when I felt comfortable moving on, and I absolutely loved every minute of it. And finally, coming in at number 1 is a game I waited over a decade for. Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, is the long-awaited sequel to a game I absolutely fell in love with back in 2013 on the 3DS. And honestly, I could never understand why there was never any talk of a sequel. And then, 10 years later, we finally got an announcement. And 2 years and 2 lengthy delays later, I got my hands on it back in May of this year, and it lived up to all of the expectations I had, and more. Fantasy Life is a colourful and quirky blend of RPG adventure with the freedom of a life sim. You can switch between 14 different lives split among fishing, crafting, combat and gathering, and explore the islands at whatever pace feels right. The game never pushes you toward the main quest, and the flexibility makes the world feel welcoming rather than demanding. And from the moment I realised this upon my first visit to Gynomorsia, I never looked back, and I just knew this was going to be an absolute treat. This is my number one pick because it captures a feeling I've missed in my cozy RPGs for a long time. Fantasy Life I brings back the flexible life class system, the gentle exploration, and that laid-back sense of building a life at your own pace. It's adventurous without being stressful, and nostalgic without feeling dated. The whole game just encourages you to meander through your own journey, giving you the freedom to drift, experiment, and grow your character in ways that feel personal. It's warm and inviting, and easily my favourite cozy game of 2025, and many years before that. And honestly, I couldn't be happier that this was the game I christened my Switch 2 with, and I can only hope that the success of this game means I won't have to wait 10 more years for another. So there you have it, my 10 favourite cozy games released on the Nintendo Switch 1 and 2 in 2025. Now these are just the games that I have played, so there are probably a few more gems out there I didn't get around to. But overall, I think this is a pretty rounded lineup, and I love playing every single one of them, and I am sure they will be loaded up again in 2026. Let me know in the comments which one you're playing right now, or how wrong I got this list. And definitely let me and everyone else know about any other cozy gems I've missed and not played that deserve a shout out. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and subscribing. I'm currently on a journey to try and hit 1000 subs before Christmas. But with that said, thanks for watching, stay cozy, and I'll see you around.